Good morning. It is the morning DNA for December 14th, 2020. I am Aaron Deister, the man of a no longer single black shirt. She is Danae Says, or Danae Hughes, the woman of a million distractions. And we're here to find out what this morning is made of. And yeah, look.
You're doing it.
Yeah, I done messed up.
You know, part of me was hoping that your story about wearing a new shirt last week and the complications therein, that miraculously somehow you were going to have a dragon shirt show up.
I don't know when that shirt's going to show up. I will wear it, and I will wear it for 5 shows when it shows up.
Now, but you didn't actually order it because it was a hack site.
Right. No, I mean the one the facsimile that I found that would not
That's right.
ruin my credit card.
Or life.
So, yeah.
We don't know what it would have done.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. How are you? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. I'm feeling...
It's been a week.
It's been a week. Last week, well, this is a new week. Last week was one of those weeks. It had some pretty awesome highs and some pretty nasty lows. But
sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the calm of something new. Yeah, there's already some comments coming in about your shirt, so let's dress that Polly.
Sure.
But it's still a black shirt.
Correct.
And Craig says, it's still black.
Yes, it is.
And JCD says, but it's not the black shirt. So let's just clarify, he's still going to wear the one that was voted on. He had to buy a new one from a site that wasn't a hack site, because the one that we found was shady.
And I guess I should say again, every time we mention this, thank you so much to our amazing members of Team DNA who pushed us to this place. We appreciate you.
Challenges us with
that's right.
great new heights.
if you want to be a member of Team DNA, that's at patreon.com/studiodna. And it's just one level, $5 a month. And yeah, 8 people to go. 8 more members
until we're playing D&D together.
Until we're doing some D&D for you.
I'm very excited about that. That was one of the highlights of last week for me. Was my, of course, I mean, is anyone surprised? Was my D&D session. I did something absolutely game breaking last week that flipped my game all sorts of ways, and my players are loving it. So I was on a storytelling high. And then immediately a horrible crash of migraine and headaches. And so I'm feeling back to normal today, which is great.
Speaking of going from lows to highs, your microphone has made the trip from low to high.
Man, my beloved dad, he tried to fix the mount.
Yeah,
but
it just didn't hold.
It didn't hold. This little thing he stuck in there. It was, able to stay up, but it needs a pill. That's what I'm saying.
Some Mike Agra.
It needs a Mike Agra. That'll be potentially the next stretch goal for our Patreon. Is
that's right.
Let's fix Danae's microphone.
Some audio pharmaceuticals for Danae's microphone.
Not a bad idea. So my week was crazy. How was yours though last week? I'm just gonna. This is a show now, guys.
It's just been.
How does this work for you?
No, that's perfect. I mean, I can't imagine. It doesn't. There's no problem there. I can't imagine why anybody would have an issue.
I don't know. Maybe I can do this.
It picks you up pretty well. So yeah, I think you.
Maybe I can just do this. I just can't move very much. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is very hard for me to do. I can't stay still.
The what? The the holidays happening over. Just kind of coming through COVID in our house with my parents, and just that like my world has just been like a jumble. And so I'm not even sure I know how to answer that question other than better, I guess.
That's good.
Like things are better and everybody's, coming along and Christmas is a couple weeks away.
Yeah.
So less than a couple weeks away now, but yeah.
I know this is the week where you realize if you're mailing something, it has to happen now. Like my brother, I have something for my brother. Something. Yeah. I bought him a lapel. Well, no, it's not a lapel mic. I think it's actually like an ear mic for his Twitch streaming, so that he can go wireless rather than be, wired to his computer and have it come unplugged. Because he does Twitch from a workshop. He's Kafidget is his Twitch handle. Anyway, I have to mail that to Arizona, so it gets there in time for Christmas. I was just thinking about that today. Like, I got to get some stuff to the post office. I'm not looking forward to going to the post office though.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Or anywhere.
I got to figure out how to kindly ask my husband to do it for me. Be like, hey, babe, since you're going to be out, want to go there too?
Yeah, my wife and I, because who knows why, except that I'm insane, decided to watch the movie Contagion last night. So we're just like, wow, this is amazing. It's so prescient and 9 years ago, and it's just like, oh, look, this is how it's going to happen. The one thing I saw this time going through, now that I've been through a global pandemic or am going through a global pandemic, is that in that movie, the virus is very much, very quick acting. And that's the only part of it where I was like, oh, actually, that doesn't give as much time for transmission. One of the issues with the virus we have now is that there's all this time you could be passing it along that you don't even know you have it. Right. And they didn't in this movie. And so I was like, oh, that's the only part of it that's a little bit weird. But other than that, man, there's this time where it just shows like all the empty places, like, gyms and that kind of just like, okay, this is our life. And there's one point, he's on the news talking about wearing masks and social distancing, and like nobody had heard the phrase social distancing in 2011, but here it is in this movie, and I'm just like, oh, that's our life now. So
people had heard of social distancing. Aaron's going to apologize for his camera, which is having trouble focusing correctly today. So you're just going to have to ignore.
I found the only fix is to just, get right up in it.
Get in there.
And make it see my face. My face is right here. Does it not look like a face? Come on.
Going back into the comments, Archimedes Amazoness says, Danae, as a mechanical engineer, may I recommend a little bit of duct tape? I don't know that that's going to work.
No.
I have to actually, it's the fulcrum. There's like this fulcrum here. And I have to, I think the only solution would probably be rubber bands, because I'd have to figure out how to like get it to go. I don't know.
A new mic stand probably coming attached to the desk below you, probably, or something like that. But
Nick says, Amazon shipping has made me lazy, and I always forget that mailing things takes longer, right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
You order something on Amazon, poof, it's there in a couple days. That's just not real life. That is not real life.
Thank you, Craig. Aaron missed a hair shaving. I appreciate that. I did get a shaving mirror for the shower. I've never had one, and so I'm surprised I missed one. But yeah, yep, fun stuff. You ready to shoe a dough, Danae? Want to get into this thing?
Yes.
Okay. We like to kick off Mondays with a little FAQ, some friendship application questions. This is a friendship application questionnaire that Danae put together back in her youth when she was working the grind of a call center and
it was
hanging
not
out
that long
with
ago. I'm super freaking young. Okay.
I didn't say when back. It could have been 2 or 3 weeks ago. You
it was
don't
just
know.
A few weeks ago, guys.
You don't know. But she's taking us through the questions so she can find out if we can be her friends. So what is the question today, Danae?
I want to clarify slightly. We're going through these questions because we're shocked at my ridiculousness even then. But then also we want to, we're going to vet these questions, make sure that we can post them for everyone as an actual Google form that people can fill out.
That is true. That's going to be fun.
Okay.
Just embrace the verbal reality. You're going to call us from your friend list if we don't answer these correctly.
Okay. Well, that's true. Bonus question. This is the final multiple choice. And then we're moving on.
We have reached the end of the multiple choice.
Yeah.
What do you got?
It says bonus question. What type of control do you have? Okay. Atmospheric.
Okay.
Booty.
Okay.
Moose poo.
Okay.
And all of the above. Now, this was based on, if I remember correctly, a joke that we had going around the call center at the time.
Hilarious joke, obviously.
Okay, because let me just tell you real quickly an uncomfortable story about moose poo.
You know you're watching the Morning DNA when you hear the phrase, let me very quickly tell you an uncomfortable story about moose poo. That's how you know the show that you have set out for.
So anyone who's worked inside like a call center or like a company, you know that your computers are often on lockdown and you can't actually just search online for whatever. Like there's website restrictions. But every once in a while they lift or something happens and you find like a little way in. And so we were Googling something and somebody had talked about moose poop. And I, for whatever reason, just start Googling moose poo. And it became this hilarious joke. Now, moose poop is interesting because you would think that it would be like...
Is it, Danae? Is it
no,
interesting?
it really is. Because you would think that moose poop would be like okay, I had a St. Bernard at the time.
Uh-huh.
St. Bernard poop, huge. Yeah. Like, it's just, it's like a big pile.
Right.
Moose poop is more like bunny rabbit.
Yeah, it's pellets.
They have pellet poop. And this, for whatever reason, and still to this day, is mind-boggling to me.
Well, this often happens with animals who graze.
How do you have little pellets popping out of that gigantic
If you ate grass every day and that was like your diet, you'd do pellets too.
Anyway, I just ended up searching for moose poop, and then it was one of those searches where, guys, judge me all you want, like 18 pages into the search of us just laughing and laughing and laughing together as a group. There was an inappropriate picture, and then we all just we couldn't control ourselves after that. We're like kids and just making stupid fart jokes or whatever. Yeah. So that's why moose poop is on this list.
Got it.
So I think the only answer is atmospheric booty, moose poop. Maybe it's all of the above for me.
Not only is it all of the above, it's kind of all the same thing.
That's interesting.
You can have atmospheric control through booty control and also moose poop.
Yep. That's the only answer. That completes the multiple choice. We're going to be going on to essay style questions next time. I don't know how we're going to do that on the show, but we'll have a go at it. That's it.
Oh, I know how we'll do it.
Are people going to actually be writing their answer?
People are going to write their answer. Like, this is important. This is valuable.
What I'll do then is I'll put the question up on the screen then.
Yes.
So you guys can read it and have time to respond.
I think that's a very good idea. We're going to get into it. The DNA and U will have a D topic, an A topic, and a U topic, several U topics if you want. So Danae is the D topic. I'm the A topic, and you're the U topic. If you have something you want us to talk about,
or a question.
Topic or a question. Anything goes. You can ask, and that is the letter U at the beginning. If you want us to spot it in the comments, we should be able to see it there. So make sure you put it there. All right, Danae, you're kicking us off.
Okay.
What is your topic for today?
Well, when have you impulsively returned? Oh, wait a second. That's was my last week.
Yeah, that was a week ago. When have you impulsively returned to
the
topic
same question? That's so weird. I changed it. Maybe I didn't save it.
Hit save.
Okay,
yeah.
Hold on. Hey, Aaron, do something while I type.
Was that quick enough? Was that long enough for you to type?
No.
You want to see my coasters?
That was so short. That was way too short.
These are my coasters for my office.
Are those actual playing cards?
No, they're coasters.
I'm having this difficult time where I'm supposed to be typing a question, but I'm super engaged in what you're showing me.
Listen, I don't know how to walk that balance. How do I walk the balance where I interest everybody but you? You are like the easiest person to distract. How do I distract everybody else but not Danae? That is the question. Okay. I guess I could look through the...
Okay, let's see if this worked. Here we go.
There it is.
Okay, have you ever bought a gift for a friend, but kept it for yourself? Because we did. I don't usually do this. I have been tempted with a couple of gifts that we've gotten for people who have kids. Now that I have a kid, I'm like, oh, this would be so cool for Iris, and like want to keep it for her. Doodle pad, for example, things like that. I've had to pause and say, no, I'll come back to this later. We'll buy you one later.
Yeah.
But this weekend, my husband's family was in town, and they quarantined for 2 weeks. We quarantined for 2 weeks. We made sure that we were as safe as possible before actually seeing each other. Now, we haven't seen them in years. I don't think I've seen, maybe it's probably been 5 or 6 years now. So it's been a long time. And they have kids. We have a kid now. And so it's the first time that our little ones were actually going to be able to play together. So we were all very dedicated to seeing each other. Leading up to the event, I wasn't feeling well. And so we weren't quite sure last minute if we were going to change plans, which basically means that my husband didn't start the slow cooker for the ribs in time. So we had to kind of like quickly switch gears and go instant pot route.
Yeah.
However, there were so many ribs they couldn't fit in the Instant Pot. So I said, hey, good idea. They want an Instant Pot. Let's go buy a new Instant Pot. We'll use it and then give it to them.
Right.
I mean, I don't think that that's offensive. It's like, hey, here's how it works. Take it home with you. We'll clean it. You know, like we're not going to give them a dirty, nasty Instant Pot. It's only been used once and for the meal they're eating. So that's probably going to be okay. As soon as Justin opened, he's like, actually, I kind of like this size. I think we're going to keep it. So we now have 2 of them. Mm-hmm. One, a smaller, more appropriate size for a family of 3, and then one, a larger one that we can use for bigger events, which is fine. But that's not the intention. That's not why he went to go get it.
Sure.
And it's kind of the first time we've done that. So
yeah, I'm trying to rack my brain on that. I'm not coming up with anything off the top.
Is that because you're a better person than us?
I think basically what I'm saying is I'm better than you, and you need to grow up.
Rude.
Lolly says, yes, last week bought a selection of hot chocolates, but then I wanted hot chocolate. No, I did go back and buy a second one for the friend. That's
the thing. It's like you get it and you're thinking, Like, okay, I have a situation right now. Legitimately, we bought a gift for someone's birthday, a children's birthday. And then the parent of the child stopped talking to me, won't return my calls. So I'm like, what do I do with this gift? So I'm going to put it in the Toys for Tots and then just be done with it.
Sure. Like, Fair enough. My mom's done that, says JC Davis. Granted, not necessarily kept for herself, but she's bought a pizza pan as a gift and then changed her mind on who she gives it to. I think I've probably done that, where it's like, oh, maybe this would be a better gift for such and such kind of thing.
I guess that's true. I've done that too. But this one felt so different because we go in going, we're going to give this as a gift. Like, that's a really cool, like, hey, Merry early Christmas, you know?
Yeah.
Nope.
I have definitely done the thing where it's like given a gift that I also want and maybe even more than the person I'm giving it to,
yeah.
You know, like that kind of thing.
I'm having a memory of one of those white elephant gift exchanges that you bring a gift or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I brought a, well, actually I can go get it. Can I do a show and tell?
Sure.
Cool. You read a question. I'll be right back.
What am I doing?
It's just in the other room. Just read another comment, you know? Or
read a comment. Sure. Yeah, I know how to read comments.
Okay.
No, you said question. It kind of threw me off there for a second. Elizabeth says, I'm supposed to mail off a gift to my friend this week, but I'm thinking of keeping it for myself. It's a foot massager. That's a good one. That is a good one to do. Speaking of gifts that I got for somebody, or that we had, like when you're married, do you say you get it for your spouse, or you just get it for each other? I don't know how this works, but
it depends on what kind of gift, right?
So this was a massage gun, and it is one of those like high intensity, like percussive.
I know what you're talking
things.
about.
And my wife really, really wanted one. And so I got her one for Christmas. And we've definitely, taken turns, beating the muscles within an inch of their life in our shoulders and back.
Personal.
And so it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I got it for somebody else, but also really, really glad this is in the house now, kind of thing. So yeah, I know that feeling.
So at the White Elephant gift exchange party, this is what I picked up at a store. It's this like metal glass amber thing, and then this section.
It looks like it's something that Doctor Who
like
should
medieval.
be saving the planet from.
This part,
it looks
this
like.
part pops open.
Now even more. It looks like
and
like
it's
something
for
that's
tea
trying to
light.
take over the world.
So whenever you put a candle in it, it glows all rad and amazing. Okay, so nobody wanted it. Like the person who opened it, they're clearly like, cool. So it's like, I'm stealing that back because I went last.
Mm-hmm.
So I stole my own gift
Listen,
back.
we could do a whole show on strategy for gift exchanges. Like,
I love this thing.
This is something I've definitely invested my time in. I had to mention.
Hold on a second.
That's why I was just going to mention that one.
Go ahead.
Slab says, keep the foot massager. Let your friends suffer in defeat.
That's funny because this is the one that I was going to do from Slab, which was, that is the ship that Superman came to Earth on.
That is true as well. Slab killing it this morning.
Slab
the third member of the show, for sure. Yeah, so I think for me it's more of the second thing than the first. I just can't remember a time where I bought something for somebody and was like, no, you're staying with me, kind of thing. So yeah,
I'm okay with our decision ultimately.
Of course,
unless they watched the show, they didn't know they were going to get it anyway. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Lolly says, this year I got my sister Jojo Rabbit on DVD. My sister bought Jojo Rabbit for my brother. If one of them doesn't buy me Jojo Rabbit, I will be disappointed.
Oh, no. Are you dropping hints? And by hints, a very clear email outlining your expectations.
Yes, exactly.
Ultimately, I don't think there's anything like horribly wrong, especially if you just realize that the gift needs to go to a different person. And unless you've told the person that it's coming and you just don't give it to them, maybe that's the only time it crosses a line. But what a weird thing. Yeah. I wasn't expecting that to happen this weekend. I was so out of it though, like recovering from migraine and just in this like haze. Like, I don't care what you do.
I have a vague memory of a gift, not a gift exchange like White Elephant or anything, but actually just like giving Christmas gifts with family of, I think, sister-in-laws that, like opened their gift and was like, why don't we just keep what we gave each other? Like they both were like, you know what? Actually, let's just keep what we got each other. And I'm like,
it should just be like, okay, buy the presents for yourself.
Right. That's what it was. That's what it ended up being.
Yeah. Just get the present for yourself then, which is fine. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
It's like you're both agreeing. Let's just spend money on ourselves together. What is it? I can't remember the saying, but it's not. It's maybe misery loves company is not the saying, but it's like that.
There's a saying like misery loves company, but for gift giving.
Yeah, sure. No, but yes.
Fair enough. All right, you want to move on to the A topic?
Let's do it.
What is a do-it-yourself project you're super proud of? Something that you can remember, can be any time in your life where you decided to try to do something yourself that you'd never done before, and you are either super proud of the way it came out, or it just came out so bad that you have to tell us about it. I would love that too.
Ooh.
I mention it because usually in our house, that is my wife. She is the DIY person.
She's amazing.
Like, she's incredible. She'll be like, something will need like changed in the car engine, and she'll be like, let me check YouTube first because there's a possibility I can do this.
I think one weekend, didn't she like fix your washer and dryer, replace like something with your refrigerator and your vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
And then just a few weeks ago, she's like, I'm just going to replace this entire shower system in the basement.
Yeah, that was this year. Yeah.
I mean,
she's
insane.
Was just like, I'm going to replace the shower down here. Okay.
Yeah. And she does.
And she did. Yeah.
She's not one of those people that starts it and then gets frustrated and stops.
Mm-hmm.
She's determined to actually complete it. It's amazing.
Yeah. So that is my wife. And for whatever reason, we had a situation, and I don't need to go into necessarily the details, but I felt like we should replace light fixtures in our guest bedroom. There are 2 light fixtures in there. And I was like, okay, I really wish there were different lights in here. Let me pull up YouTube and see how hard it is to change a light fixture. Turns out it's super easy. It looks super easy when you look at it on YouTube.
I cannot wait for this. I cannot wait.
But seriously, it should be super easy. I did not realize this. My thinking was, okay, I'm going to have to know like how to do electricity. Like I'm going to have to run electricity. Yeah. Like what if the light fixture I get needs different electricity than the one that's in there? Like are there different wattages, all that kind of stuff? This is what my brain's doing. Turns out it's all standardized. None of that matters. Everything is in the light fixture itself. It's just a black wire, a white wire, and a ground wire. And no matter what light fixture you put up there, you just attach the wires and put it back in there.
No matter which one, you don't lick them.
Well, that is step number 1.
Is that what you did wrong, Aaron?
Turn off the electricity.
Did you?
Step number 2, don't lick the wires.
You didn't actually forget to turn off the electricity though, right?
Or lick the wires. No, I didn't do either of those things. No, we killed the breaker. So we were going.
You're doing good.
We were going in there. Took down the ones that were up there.
Good, yeah. Yeah.
And there were these, I can't remember the base that holds it all in. There were these screws in that base that we needed to get out so we could put the new fixture, up in there. And they were not coming out. And see, here's the thing when you do it yourself, right? You're going to have to problem solve. It's never as easy as it's supposed to be. Never. There's always going to be at least one moment where you're like, okay, I gotta, something unexpected has happened. So there are these screws up there, and we decided.
The terrible thing is you don't have a professional going, this is when you stop.
I will tell you exactly what the professional would have told us after we screwed it up.
Oh, no.
So we were like, okay, it's hard to get these screws out. The best thing we could probably do is take that fixture out of there, like the port that it goes in. There's a couple screws holding it in. We'll just pull that out so we can get at those screws a little better. So we unscrewed the port thing, pulled it down, only to realize that is something that is screwed in before the ceiling goes on, because it has a bracket that goes over like this, a bar, and then it screws into that. So if you're going to go up through the fixture to screw it in, you have to perfectly place this bracket, which isn't locked into anything. It's just hanging on this bar, and you have to go up in there and get those screws and have the screws grab that bracket on one side and like get it back in. It's almost impossible to get that thing back up in there. And so within the first 5 minutes of trying to do this thing ourselves, we had irreparably harmed the situation.
So now you're like, okay, ceiling repair, Google ceiling repair. Do you have to repair your ceiling?
There was a moment where I was like, we have to get a saw, and we have to like cut out our ceiling, and we're going to have to like replace our ceiling. Like we're just trying to figure out like all this stuff on what to do. So we worked on that for several hours.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Now, is this a room where you can come in from like the attic from above and try to fix it?
This is in the basement. So we would have had to go through the floor.
Okay.
That's a great question. That would have made it a lot nicer if we could have gone from above somehow.
Oh no.
Yes.
No.
So after several hours of working on this, we decide to
stop.
There's two of them. No, we decide there's two of them. Let's go ahead and do the other one. Let's
the right way.
Leave this and let's do the other one.
Like learn from our mistakes. Like, okay, let's give it another go. Let's see if we can come back in here or with fresh eyes and new perspective, and at least, do the second one really well.
Let's accomplish something. Feel good about ourselves, and then come back to this other one.
So wait, are there like bits of ceiling on the floor now?
Oh yes, in our eyes and in our lungs, and yes. Oh, of course. Yeah. There's asbestos just coursing through our veins.
I just realized something, Aaron.
Yeah.
Your question is, what is the DIY that you're proud of? Like, okay.
Listen, the bigger the challenge, the higher the reward.
Oh no.
So we go to work on the other one. We get it down just fine. We get the screws out of there just fine. Turns out it's pretty easy just to like grab a wrench, like a holding wrench, and turn them that way if you can't, use a screwdriver.
Okay.
So we get them out of there. We put in the new bracket. Well, first of all, it's, smaller problem than our first problem. Whatever bracket was in there before had kind of pulled the port together, so the screws weren't lining up correctly. So we had to like brace and pull it apart and get them in there and that kind of thing. And then the light fixture is one where those screws come down, you put it on, you twist it on. Like the screws come through and you twist it on like a twist on kind of thing.
No, but I'm with you in a different way.
Well, the screws didn't come down far enough. And so we couldn't put the light fixture on. We could see the screws through there. We just couldn't get it through. And so I spent probably, and this is maybe the proud moment, but I spent
this is maybe. We're not sure.
Maybe, who knows? I spent like 10 minutes like just efforting. Like how you'll hear tennis players during a match be like, these are the sounds coming through the room. It's more like I am He-Manning this thing, trying to get these things through. And so I finally get them through enough, and I get them just to catch, and then you have to turn it, right? And so I'm like, whoa, and I'm like trying to turn this light on, and so
why is there no video? Like if you don't work out or anything, this is like a big effort.
Right. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing about working on anything on the ceiling is your shoulder muscles are dying. They're just burning because, just try to hold your hands up for 5 minutes. Even if you're not doing anything with them, like your shoulders will start burning if you're as weak as I am. But anyhow, yeah.
So you're like hulking out on this thing.
So,
and you're not breaking it. Congratulations. Wait, I don't know the end of the story yet, I guess.
That's right. Maybe you want to wait. No, but we eventually got that one on. It worked. We had that sense of accomplishment. We're like, all right, back to this other one. And I had this idea to use thread with a weight hanging on each end to go down through the holes in the bracket and then down through the holes in the thing so we could line it up easier.
Smart.
In there, and that was eventually the answer, and we were able to screw that back in there, get the other one on, and it was funny because we got the other one on, and I thought it was as tight as the first one we did, and so I'm putting it up there, and I went to go like that, and it was not tight at all. It was really loose, and I was just like wrenched the whole thing out of the ceiling. In fact, we had to tighten it up a little bit more on the other side. But yeah, so we got those in, and we are super proud of the job, even though it was crazy. We messed it up ourselves. It was one of those things where it's just like, if I could go back in time and not take this thing out. But yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was kind of one part of our weekend. That's just one of the stories from this weekend. Yeah.
So I have to tell you, I was so dialed in. I have not been watching chat, and there's quite a few stories.
Let's get to some of them. Yeah, let's hear some of these stories.
So I haven't had a chance to kind of like glance at them. So who knows what I'm about to pop up on the screen. Archimedia says, it's not really DIY, but one day my dad kind of passed these fixing jobs to me, saying I knew enough and was skilled enough that I should take over. And that was a proud moment.
Yeah, right. And I have to say, overall, I think we've talked about this. I'm not that kind of person. That's what was really weird about this situation is I was kind of leading it. Like I was like, I just think this needs to be done. And I looked it up on YouTube and it looks super simple. And can I be honest? It actually should be a super simple thing.
Maybe it was really like the installation of your house or something was off.
Well, but like I said, there's always going to be problem solving in any project like this. But I was really surprised how easy it is to change a light fixture. I didn't realize that it was plug and play like that. I think after 1986, as long as your home was built after 1986. But yeah.
Sweet Chicken Sir says, how many errands does it take to screw in a light bulb?
One Aaron and one Aaron's wife, and occasionally one Aaron's dad helping by holding a flashlight. Oh, here's the other thing. Allow me to shed a little light on another part of this story. When you're changing all the light fixtures in a room, guess what there isn't in the room? Light, right. So we're working in the dark with like these puny little LED flashlights, right? For hours and hours and hours. And I'm like, man, I wish we had one of those work lights that they have at construction sites. Construction
like your phone
lights.
Maybe?
Like we tried the phone, that kind of thing. Or, like somebody would have in a studio where they shoot video. And
you have studio lights right in front of your face right now, Aaron.
For hours we're working in there. I have
oh my God.
So many stand-up lights that project so much great light but you know what? They're for video. Who would use them for construction?
God. Aaron
Dicer. You, man, the brain is weird.
I'm so tickled by that. This is something I would do. That is something I would do.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let's see. Craig says, I hit a sewer grate on a county road and changed my tire all by myself on a dirt road as it was getting dark, and my 19-year-old self was super proud. You should be. Changing
your first tire is a big one.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
The first time that my husband changed a tire was a huge deal. He used YouTube. It was the only way, but he did it in a rainstorm. So it was YouTube on a screen in a rainstorm.
Why is it always like that?
It was
bad. The first
bad.
time I changed a tire, it was sleeting and icing in like 30 degrees, and it was on the side of a highway. And I'm just like, I am going to die. This is going to be the end of me. Why is it always like that? But yeah, what's the most nerve-wracking part of changing a tire?
When you lift the car?
Yes, that is it, right? Like it's jacking up the car, and it's just like, is this going to slip and crush me? Like,
yeah.
It's just,
wait.
I get so
you
nervous.
should never be under the car while lifting it, though.
Huh? Your arm shouldn't be like in between.
We'll talk. Nick says, at the beginning of the quarantine, we refinished our deck. sanded, flipped the boards, and painted all on our own. It only took 2 weeks. My wife and I are super proud of how it looks. Hashtag quarantine projects. That is something that's really, it's satisfying when you can go and you can experience your good work on the regular. Like when you're talking about DIY projects, the one that I went to in my mind was when I was a little girl and I took my stuffed animals and I created my very own nativity scene and I made all of them their own clothes. That's the DIY project that I went to in my mind. I have a picture of them that whenever I come across it, I'm like, I was so proud of myself because like I had a Timon and Pumbaa stuffed animal from The Lion King, and Timon was one of the wise men, you know, and then like a turtle was baby Jesus, and I had all the things, and everybody had like little outfits, and I worked at it for a long time. I used to do really crafty DIY stuff at my house all the time, but you're talking about like real life DIY adulting stuff. I don't know. I guess I moved. There's a shelf that I have everything set on here in my closet. They usually would kind of go on like a bracket you can kind of see here in the back. And I moved it down to this bottom shelf. And when it was stuck, I took a hammer and I smacked it down and I broke into the wall.
Hey, it's a little percussive. Yeah, that's fine.
That's kind of problem solving.
Sure.
Sort of.
By the way, that last one reminded me that my wife also completely sanded and stained our deck. She did. This summer.
She freaking did.
Yeah.
That woman.
So, yeah, she's incredible.
Scott says, does gardening count as a DIY project?
I think so. 100%.
Because I think I am the most proud of is clearing an area of my backyard that was brambles and vines.
Yeah.
And I turned it into a woodland garden bed.
Perfect.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yep.
Doc just wants to remind you're not supposed to literally raise the roof, Aaron.
That wasn't the problem. The problem was the roof. The roof was coming down. That was if we could have raised the roof, that would have been nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So, here's the one from Volk. I gutted a deer by myself this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Besides my sister asking me sad deer questions, it made me sad. Yeah. So my grandfather always, like, he gutted his own deer and stuff. I never got into it, but he was an expert at doing that. He was really, really efficient. And he would always get a lot of meat off the bone and everything. And that is something to be proud of.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of good ones people are doing. JCD says put plywood down in our attic a while back. We only stepped through the ceiling twice. So, hey, if you're up in the attic and you only step through the ceiling a couple times.
Ooh, my mama did that once.
My dad, having good light to work in helps. Thank you, Dad. Thanks for the flashlight help. I appreciate it.
It's coming from inside the house.
Craig saying, I can imagine all the G-rated swear words coming out of the Dicer basement.
Oh, my goodness.
Then everybody joins in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dag nabbit.
I bet a shucky darn or two was heard from the neighbors.
Lolly says, I would love to hear Mrs. Dicer's version of the story.
Oh, yeah. We should get her on sometime. Yeah, I'm sure she would tell the same story. We were kind of in this one together. There are certainly things in our life and marriage, as with most marriages, where we would tell different stories. But this one, I think we were in concert on. So, yeah.
Wow, what an adventure. I'm glad everything turned out.
Oh, yes.
For the best. I mean, that you didn't have to do ceiling repair and stuff, because that I can't even imagine. Of course, you know what? Jen would do it. She'd figure out a way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. All right, let's move on to the you questions, Danae. And this is, as you might guess, for you. All you got to do is let us know what topic you want us to talk about.
Put a U in front of it, please.
What question you have for us, and we will go back and look for some of the ones that have happened so far, because I saw some people had put some stuff in there for the you questions. But yeah, let us know what you want us to talk about.
Here's a you question from JCD, who says, have you ever bought a gift for someone after Christmas for the next Christmas? I'm asking because my mom does this all the time.
It's not a bad idea, but it is way too forward thinking for me. I can't, I'm doing good with late November, early December. That's when I'm like, okay, let's get things, purchase for people?
Man, I love this idea because I think there's oftentimes really good sales, but then at the same time,
exactly.
I think about, I see sales throughout the year. There's always President's Day or whatever comes up and people have these random sales and maybe they're not quite like the extra 5% or whatever, but it seems that throughout the year, there's always an incentive to purchase something. And so I tend to not do that for one, I think one main reason. I think I'm afraid I'd forget. I'm afraid I would forget I would have, like, that I got it, where it is, what it is, if I wrap it, what was it.
If you ended up keeping it for yourself, any of that stuff. Yeah.
Right. I did use sticky notes this year on some of the presents so that I can remember what's inside of them for Iris, and then I'll just take them off. So nice. I did do that. This one comes from Nick.
Hey, I wasn't done with that question.
Oh.
I wasn't. Do I get to answer that question?
Nope.
Feel sad now. Well, and now I forget what I was going to say. So go ahead and go on to the next one.
Nick, when do you wrap Christmas presents? I do it early. My wife, Christmas Eve. However, this year she did it last week. I think she may have been replaced by pod people.
It's weird when the people closest to you change. All of a sudden they're doing things differently, and you're wondering what's going on. What is that, like human growth? It's weird.
Oh man, I'm scared of myself this year because I have wrapped presents. I think I talked about it like a month. Oh, it was before Halloween. I had wrapped presents.
Our practice, again, is generally late November, early December, and we wrap them as soon as, I say we, my wife wraps them as at the earliest convenience, and then we put them under the tree and they hang out there.
I mean, I really wish I could put presents under the tree, but with Iris being so young, I don't think she can stop herself from ripping into them.
You should see the pictures when we were in a dog small child house of Christmas in the tree and presents. We would put barriers up for the tree, like all the way around, like, baby gates and chairs and all sorts of things, and then just see who could get into the tree first, the dogs or the kids, and then try to reinforce that wall. So yeah, we have two things under the tree. One is like a fake present that we got one year. It's almost like a heavy pillow in the shape of a present that's just a decorative present. And the other one is a box. It's the first gift box that I used for Iris's first Christmas present. And it's just something easy. She can just open the top and then we just put stuff inside of it that she could find. And she loves to go over there, open it up and put things in and then give us a present. And so she'll be like, I got this for you. And we'll open it up and she'll have like crayons and random toys and whatever, in it. And she'll say, isn't it exciting? And I have a special surprise for you. Open it and see what it is. So she's kind of enjoying playing with that. I might regret that later, but that's what we're doing this year. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I'm just thinking now, too, I mentioned something earlier about the massage gun that I got my wife, and people may be wondering, well, how are you guys already using that? Yeah, we don't ever wrap each other's presents. If as an adult, there's this thing where it's like, it's in the house and I want to use it. Like, why? And I know what you're getting me. Like, why on earth would I wait till Christmas morning to open it? So,
my husband's so different. He loves the tradition of Christmas.
And a lot of people are.
I'm not that way. Give it to me now.
And plus, we're not gift people in general. And I think I've talked about this before too. Like, our anniversary comes and goes. We tell each other we love each other and maybe we go out on a date, but we don't buy each other stuff. Like, we just, we never, I shouldn't say never, but we very rarely do gifts. Birthdays, that I can almost say never get each other anything for our birthdays. We just say happy birthday and it's just, another day to celebrate each other. But yeah, so we're both thankfully not gift people because that would be a tough mismatch with one gift person and one not gift person.
Lolly says, what's your family's weird holiday tradition that you didn't realize was weird until you left home? I think mine is Christmas carols. We used to sing.
Are Christmas carols weird?
Oh, anytime people came over to our house for Christmas or I've gone to someone else's house for Christmas, like there was not singing. And so.
Oh, wait, you sing as a family?
As a family. We would get out.
Weird.
We would get out. Somebody had photocopied their favorite hymns, and so we would get out, and then people would select which ones they wanted. We sometimes would go around, and mostly it was my my grandpa or my grandma or my great aunt. They'd select their favorite carols. We would all sing them together in harmony. So they'd pick their part. We all, and it's Hark the Herald Angels Sing, sure, but then also like all the verses. So it's not just like the ones that everyone knows. It's the whole entire thing, every single one of all of these famous ones. And my husband, I remember him coming to our Christmas and he's like, whoa, that was a lot of singing.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
yeah.
I think, we don't, I've never had that tradition. So yeah, that's a fun one. That you have that other people don't. I'm trying to decide if I go back to my childhood, if I go to what we do now.
Or both.
Or both.
It's our show.
I mean, I think it's easy to go to what we do now because we bake a loaf of pumpkin bread and write Jesus' name on it and sing happy birthday to Jesus. And I think that is maybe something not a ton of people do.
I've never heard of it in all the years.
It's ours. That's one of our traditions. So that's kind of a fun one for us.
Slab asks, have you ever let the kids open a present on Christmas Eve?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have. That was a tradition. It's kind of like an off and on tradition for us. Some years we will. We haven't lately just because we don't have, because the kids are asking for more expensive things, so they really just have one thing under the tree a lot of times. And so it's like, what we did for a while is we let them open their pajamas. We would get them pajamas every Christmas, and we'd let them open those so that then they'd have new pajamas on Christmas morning when all the videos getting taken and the pictures of, that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
I think what we're going to be doing is stockings on Christmas Eve, which are kind of like presents, just something fun. And then on Christmas Day, the actual like big presents opening.
And stockings have to be Christmas morning. You can't do stockings Christmas Eve.
Okay. We haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
Because in my family, we would have different, because I live near extended family. Mm-hmm. My dad's parents, when they were alive, they were just in the next, just like an hour's drive away. My mom's parents, my grandfather's passed away now, but my mom's parents live on the north side of town. So it was every year was just going to multiple places. So for me, Christmas Eve was always a huge celebration at my mom's parents' house, where it was like all of the cousins and all of the family, like sometimes 20 plus 25 people, like all opening presents and children running around. And so I didn't realize that there's like traditional, like you open them on specific days until much later, because I always had a lot of stuff going on as a family, which I really love. I love that is part of my history.
Yeah.
But yeah, Justin and I are trying to figure that stuff out right now. So it's a really good question, because we do need to think about what we want to do. My answer, I think, will be that we do something special on Christmas Eve. But I think because my husband is such a traditional, like he loves the tradition of Christmas, I would not be surprised if it's every present is on Christmas morning or on Christmas. Yeah. So, but my family, we always did something on Christmas Eve. So we'll have to find that balance. It's a good question.
Stockings are an interesting one, right? Because you think of how that started in the idea of hanging your socks up by the fireplace to dry. Kind of thing, like if you've been out and you hang them up to dry, and then
someone puts something inside of it.
Yeah, put gifts in your socks for you overnight.
Your parents are like trolling you, and you're like, "Oh, thanks for the present," and then all of a sudden it becomes this like tradition.
Well, and originally it was like an apple, was like the main thing. Like you might find, like, do I want to eat an apple out of my dirty wet sock that's been hanging on the fireplace?
And thanks for making me think about that.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Volk Tyler. What is your favorite gift that you have given to your spouse or to your child? Now, Aaron, you've got a lot of children to think about, and obviously one spouse. I only have two people to think about. So, it's hard because each year we have something, meaningful that we've done for her.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I'm really loving doing is that every birthday and Christmas, I try to make sure she gets another book of some kind, something that's like a special book that we can read together and that she can kind of grow up with. But I loved getting her first stuffed animal. I think that was kind of a special thing, and we're trying to obviously keep good track of it. It's already got one ear chewed up from the dog, which was a nice challenge for me to remember that it's not about the condition of the thing necessarily.
Right. Yeah.
It's part of its story now, I guess. I don't know. That one was really special because she still carries it around. We take pictures with it, stuff like that. So
The favorite gift I've given to my children is their life. So, that should be enough. It's hard for me to kind of identify one. Again, probably because I'm not a gift person, and it's like not a super meaningful thing to me because it's just stuff. I think more of the moments and the traditions and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like the memories of it.
I love that they've all fallen in love with the chocolate oranges for Christmas, which is one of our fun things that we've liked to do. Speaking of stockings, that's, one of the things we put in their stockings every year is a chocolate orange.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I know that. I still want one.
They're great. It's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Let's see.
Craig says, last 2 movies you watch are your road trip buddies. Who's your driver, front seat and back seat company?
I can't tell you because it is for my job.
It would give something away.
Yeah. The nature of my job is that I watch content and it's for upcoming releases. So I actually can't answer that question.
The last 2 movies I watched, I went on a Steven Soderbergh binge this weekend, the director. And the last 2 I watched were Contagion, as already mentioned. And then what was I think Solaris I watched right before that. So I would have George Clooney in the front seat pondering about the meaning of life. And then I would have a very, very sick Kate Winslet in the back seat getting us all sick, and we would all die 3 hours later. So thanks for asking.
I really love as the U questions come in, you guys are commenting. I've been so far up in the chat going through the U questions. I haven't had a chance to see them, but I just wanted to pop this one up from Caleb, who says that the family tradition was to drink boiled custard instead of eggnog, and people seem to find that strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've never heard of that. That's really, really interesting.
Well, and I love what Volk Tyler said as well. Claim your weird, claim your quirk. We're basically doing Christmas claim your quirk at this point, which is a lot of fun. Claim your quirk is one of our favorite things. So.
Lots of comments about traditions and things like that. I'm really enjoying those. Yeah. Elizabeth asks me, Danae, when did you discover your love for D&D? Well, first of all, thanks for asking. I'm going to do my very best to keep this nice and tight and succinct and not go off on a bunny trail.
Talk as long as you want.
So
the people want to know.
The first time I played D&D, I was 19 or 20 years old, and I was working at a pizza joint with all of my pizza, like college age friends and stuff. And we all started playing D&D every, I think, Tuesday night, and that lasted for almost 2 years. It was super fun, but we had nothing but time, then. So that ended when my friendships and just life moved on, and I went and did other things and kind of fell out of touch with all of them. But it was a really, really fun story. And I really enjoyed playing a different character and being able to explore this imaginative world. And I played this rogue who was a little sneaky halfling who would go in and I was the one who would sneak into a place and check for traps before the rest of the party showed up and stuff. So I had a lot of fun kind of imagining being that person. But then my passion, as you know it today, started about a year ago, actually. So it's not been too far in the past. I was talking about D&D on a podcast, listening to a show that I had found. And one of the fans of the podcast reached out to me, who was local, and she's like, my husband is a DM and he's just about to start a game. Do you want to come and play? So I talked with him and just kind of got an idea of a vibe for him, because it's when you're playing a game like this, you kind of want to know the people that you're playing with. And we just seemed to kind of hit it off, and he and his group of friends, and then I brought one of my friends with me who had never played before, and we've not stopped since. And then about, 4 months ago or so, we paused his game, and then I started to actually lead my very first game, and that is going fantastically well. The passion for it, I will say, is something I didn't expect to be this passionate about it as the person in charge of the game right now. But it just pairs so well with my imagination and creativity, love of storytelling, and my communication style, and my love of game and community. I've never experienced something quite like this before, where it's this collaborative gaming experience. I love game collaboration. So I did not expect to be thinking about it as much as I'm thinking about it, and I'm riding that line of having to be really careful to not spend too much time thinking about a game. There's a major temptation to just be like, oh, I have free time. Let me build this really fun idea in this imaginative space for my players. They're having the time of their life, though, and I get messages from them almost every other day, excited about something that they're thinking about in the world that I'm building, and that's a really awesome feeling to do something that other people are really, really enjoying. So my passion, I think, is now in a different space than it ever has been before. So I don't know. I just hope that people kind of find something that they can do. It's also, I think, important for me to remember that it is my outlet for a relationship right now. In this pandemic where I don't get to go see people, this is my social sphere. So I think one of the reasons I'm super loving it and almost needing it is because it's a chance to connect with my friends online, see each other face to face, and crack up laughing and tell really fun stories. And that's, for me, like a win-win-win. So it's not always about the game as much as it is about the people that you find. And so I don't know. I hope everybody has something that they can think about in their life where they just are wanting to go back to be around people. Yeah. I will say this too. My husband, he just started playing online games with his friends. So finding a way to connect online where everyone's doing like a video hangout like this, and just, it doesn't seem like it would be important, but then in the moment, it's so fun to just be around someone else, even if I'm in a recording closet, Yeah. So I think it's an important thing that we all remember, is to try to find a way to stay connected. For me right now, it's D&D.
Yeah. I wanted to go back to Lolly, who said our stockings hung from a bedpost. We got an orange in with the gifts. It might be a Brit thing. And then she follows up saying chocolate oranges are also British. You're welcome.
Oh.
And I was aware of that. I was aware the orange thing is a British tradition. And it's always interesting what you kind of pick up from like pop culture. But I think also in England, there's like a Christmas crown that everybody wears. Have you seen this? Like everybody wears like a paper crown. And
I saw in the show The Crown that there was a crown given to the king, like in episode 1, maybe?
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't know that was a tradition.
Yeah, I think that's a tradition. I mean, I think everybody, like, they have paper crowns and stuff. So I think it was kind of a symbolic thing in the show where it's like he is the crown and they're giving him a paper crown kind of thing. And then there's also like some sort of like thing they set off, like a popper or something. Yeah, the crackers. That's what I was just talking about. I think is that what you're talking about? The crackers where like you pop them open and then the crown come out of that or something? I don't know. Listen, I'm just saying it's so interesting how the world has become so small and yet there's still so much we don't know about each other's traditions.
Yeah.
Like it's really interesting to me.
I wanna pop this up because we still have a little bit of time, right, Aaron?
Well, it's our show. We do what we want.
Okay. Because this one's from Doc. Oh wait, no wait, where'd it go? This is from Craig. Sorry, Doc. Aaron, do you want a new coach at Michigan? If so, can you send him to the Jets? Hashtag tank for Trevor. Now, I don't know what this means at all, if I've just stepped into something major. But he also said that's a sin question I asked, and I really want to know what you think.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's sports. Sports.
How long did you? I'll take the exact amount of time on sports that you did D&D.
And you got. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a balance. I got you go crazy.
I don't have a lot to say about this. In fact, usually when I start talking about football, the conversation gets weird because I have a weird relationship with football right now. So it's one of those things where I have grown up really enjoying it. Huge Michigan fan, all that stuff. And I just wish they treated their players better, both in college and especially in the pros, because they are really literally putting their life on the line for the sport that they love. And I know they get paid very, very well. And I guess I'm more okay with the professional aspect of it because there are plenty of jobs that are dangerous. The difference is it doesn't seem like this is what I'm saying. Anytime you want me to talk about football, I have to say all this stuff, but I don't have to, but I always end up talking about it. But anyhow, as far as Michigan goes, no, I actually want to keep him. So you'll have to wait because I'm not going to pull any strings to get him fired.
Wait. You have strings you could pull?
Oh, absolutely. I'm deeply connected into the Michigan athletic system, and basically I call the shots. Don't tell anybody, but basically, I'm the one that got to Juwan Howard for the basketball team to coach, I'm the reason they've got all those amazing freshmen on the basketball team right now. You want to talk about Michigan basketball? We can talk about Michigan basketball.
I mean, you definitely have not been talking about sports as long as I talked about D&D yet. So take it away, sir. I mean, the court is yours.
Good. No, it's good. Let's have Lolly clarify some English traditions for us.
Okay.
Yes, you pull them open, they bang, and then there's a cheap toy, a paper crown, and a bad joke inside. They're fun. We pull them at the dinner table. My mom offered to send me some from England, but we weren't sure if customs counts them as small explosives.
Oh, that's true.
So, yeah, I knew there was something like that. Like there's like an explosion everybody does, and then I didn't realize like all the stuff that comes out of there. I didn't know that that's where the paper crowns came from necessarily, but then I knew there were paper crowns as well. So
something you have something that you pop open and it's large enough to have all of those items inside.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Come on, America. Where's that cool thing?
That's right. Where's our explosions on Christmas morning? Come on.
So we just want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We go live every Monday at 9 a.m. Central, right here, wherever you're watching. We're on Twitter, which is Periscope. We're on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, although sometimes we don't actually say that word.
Social network that shall not be named.
You can follow us. All the information that is scrolling along the bottom of the screen. That's Aaron on Twitter at Aaron Dicer. Our mutual Twitter is Aaron and Danae. Mine is Danae Says. We also go live Mondays and Sundays. So make sure you're getting notifications because we do go live throughout the week at other times. It's been a little bit difficult for us the last couple of weeks, but that might change now that we're getting into the holiday season and have a little more time on our hands. Who knows? So make sure you click on your notifications to know when we go live. And thank you to our patron supporters. You guys are amazing. We do this because we love it, and you guys support because you love it too, and that means so much to us. We have silly little goals that we set, like Aaron wearing a new shirt and us playing D&D together, which is our next little goal. 8 more people supporting at $5 a month at patreon.com/StudioDNA, right there at the bottom of the screen. And we will be doing some form of a live/recorded D&D extravaganza. More on that to come.
I understandably so, we talk about if you might want to be a new member of Team DNA, but let me just say there are 33 members of Team DNA, and each and every one of you is amazing.
It's amazing.
Thank you so much for throwing a couple bucks our month every month.
I know what you said.
Yeah, whatever I meant to say, you understand.
Yeah. No,
we really do appreciate you, so thank you for doing that. We will catch you on the next Monday or some